Hello, YouTubers. Hello, subscribers. Kisses to all of you. I am on my way to get my princess from school, but I needed to get this off my chest before I did that. This is Harry on his Invictus little clip, whining and blaming his family for his demise. It's everybody else's fault that Harry's not successful. It's everybody else's fault that Harry did not get help when he was a child. How many times is he going to tell us that? And why is he making this about him? This Invictus is supposed to be about wounded veterans. Harry's not wounded. He's wounded in the mind, but Harry is not wounded. He's not missing an arm or a leg. And this is what disgusts me. You have this prince that's entitled to everything, talking about using his mom as an excuse to be a victim. And that is just the most disgusting thing in the world. I could sit here all day and talk about my dad and how, all this other stuff and blame and blame and blame and never move a feet. He has turned Invictus into his blaming session. How is this charity? How is this helping? How is this giving back to the veterans? Harry's on here talking about himself. Come to find out that Meghan is, but Harry's that too. Meghan's not sitting next to him telling him to say this about his family. He is on here saying how his family didn't give him any support.
Like most of us, the first time you really consider therapy is when you're lying on the floor in the fetal position, probably wishing that you dealt with some of this stuff. So I was like, what is going on here? I'm now feeling everything as opposed to being numb. The biggest struggle for me was the people that no one around me really could help.
He was fin to say, which he shouldn't have said, was that the people around me really couldn't help me. So if the people couldn't help you around you, then why are you blaming them for not helping you? Harry, just say you struggled with your mom's death. I struggled with it more so than most. And unfortunately, that's something that I'm still dealing with. But to continue to put blame where blame shouldn't be on your family because they're not responsible for your mental health. No one's responsible for Tisha's mental health but Tisha. All I can do is have the tools in front of me to do what I need to do to help with my mental health. And he had the tools he needed. He did. He had his brother. He has a therapist. He was sitting there talking to people every day about his issues. But then he goes on here and lies and says that he didn't have any help. Harry, the help didn't work for you. It's not that you didn't have help. Get the story straight. We'll be talking about this again later. The story is, Harry, is that you couldn't receive the help that you were getting. It's not that you didn't get help. It's that you couldn't grasp onto it. So stop blaming those that tried to help you and saying that you didn't have people around you to help you, because you did.
I didn't have that support structure, that network.
He didn't have that support, that network. What network? Your brother? Your brother wasn't there for you, and Catherine didn't come along and hold your hand too? You need, if you're that much in duress over your mom's death, then maybe Harry needs to be in a hospital where he needs to be somewhere where they monitoring him 24/7 a day, because I don't want to hear about his sob story anymore about it's everybody else's fault that his brain is falling apart.
Or that expert advice to identify what was actually going on with me.
Okay, so he's saying he had no advice, no help from the family, nothing. Harry continues to do this. He continues to attack his childhood, attack his family, and act like he was running from something. Now he's old enough to get help. Harry's sick. And this Invictus, I am not watching it at all. He made this about himself. He took Invictus and switched it and turned it and made this into a sob story about him and his life. I don't want to hear about Harry and what happened again to him, as if the world didn't know. And now he's using that as a victim card, as a blame card, as to continue. But we just yesterday on my video, he said that he was done, they were done bashing the royal family. And Megan, you can separate yourself from your husband as long as you want to, because everything that comes out of his mouth is still a part of you, and vice versa. You can't split the two. If my husband says something, it reflects on me. Let's see what they're saying before I have to go, guys.
Unfortunately, like most of us, the first time you really consider therapy is when you're lying on the floor in the fetal position, probably wishing that you dealt with some of this stuff.
So, Charlie, this is part of his Invictus Games documentary, which is released today.
What does Harry, I thought Invictus was about the veterans. Correct me if I'm wrong, subscribers. Harry's on there talking about his mom and what happened to him. Harry is not talking about the victims. Harry has managed to make this Invictus about him. This is pathetic. Is anybody else seeing this?
Credit to the Prince for launching these games and supporting them so devotingly.
You're not supporting the games. You're supporting yourself. If you're supporting the games, you talk about that. Stick to the games. Stick to talking about someone else's injuries and someone else's trauma, not your trauma, Harry. Because what does your trauma have to do with Invictus?
As he does. But this little section is talking about his own experiences. As I say, this isn't to laugh at him in any way. Of course, you know, we respect him for what he did in Afghanistan, and we sympathise with the mental breakdown that he clearly suffered, ending up, you know, in a fetal ball on the ground.
I don't believe that it's okay for Harry to run around and play the victim. I don't think it's okay. We teach our kids to get up, because what are we supposed to do with the victimhood? So I can't get a job. Let's pretend. I can't get a job. It's been 2 years and I can't get a job. So what am I going to do? Keep looking or lie in a bed and start crying about it and blaming I've tried for 2 years and no one wants to hire me. No one. That's Harry. He keeps talking about something that happened to him and relaying it. And this is Megan. This is their MO. They try to take their story and make it into someone else. How is Invictus have anything to do with his mom dying? I say nothing. For some reason, Harry wants to be the victim. He wants us to see that he's the victim. And here it is. And now it's everybody else's fault that he was in a fetal position. And then he realized he needed to get some therapy. I don't believe anything that Harry says anymore. And I believe this is one of their tricks. They take something and then they twist it and make it into theirs. Invictus was supposed to be about veterans. Harry has made this into, let's blame the royals, let's blame my childhood for what I'm going through and how I can relate to these veterans. He doesn't talk about how he was over there in war and it traumatized him and he had a bad experience. No, he's talking about how he had a bad experience as a child. Like some of my subscribers said, my mom died, my father died, He turned this into a self-serving event for him. And as we continue to listen, watch how his wife does it too. I'm going to let you guys go soon.
But he is pointing the finger at the royal family.
There we go.
I had no one to turn to, no one to help me. As I said earlier, yes, you did. Here's who you could have turned to: your loving family. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get past anything without pointing the finger at King Charles and his other
We were
royal
having a little
relatives.
sneeze fest. My husband made me a little mimosa.
Just like, just when you think it's safe to go back into the water.
He said it was too strong.
With this Heart of Invictus series, and like you, I have the greatest deal of respect for Prince Harry for what he's done for the.
Okay. I don't have any respect for Harry. I've lost all respect for him. And I think he needs to remove his name off of this and give it to someone else. Give it to William. Give it to Catherine. But his name on it doesn't make it good. See you guys. See you guys tonight on my video. Maybe we should do a live. Let me know what you think. Kisses and love you.